Welcome to the Mystery and History channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one. A mysterious seven-headed sculpture was discovered in Caucasia, Russia, and dates back to around 5000 BC. Its exact origin and purpose remain unknown, but it is believed to be connected to spiritual or ritualistic practices of the time. The longest kiss. Two skeletons buried together for 2,800 years remain embraced. This discovery symbolizes love and human connection that endures through time. The German Schienen Zeppelin reached 143 miles per hour in 1931. This experimental train, designed by Franz Kruckenberg, had an aerodynamic design and was powered by a rear propeller. This is the definition of the ideal body, according to Time magazine in 1950. The decade was marked by beauty standards that emphasized a curvy silhouette with a slim waist and balanced proportions. Stuntman Ormer Locklear balances on the wing of a Curtiss Jenny biplane at about 90 miles per hour in June 1920. Known for his daring aerial stunts, Locklear helped popularize wing walking, a risky spectacle that amazed audiences at the time. King Tutankhamun's camp was discovered in 1922 by Howard Carter, along with his famous tomb in the Valley of the Kings, Egypt. Among the artifacts found was a possible example of one of the earliest recorded three-part folding beds. King Tutankhamun's 3,000-year-old board game was found in his tomb in the Valley of the Kings, Egypt. The game, called Senet, was popular among pharaohs and considered a royal pastime, as well as having spiritual and religious significance. The Titanic docked in Southampton in 1912 before beginning its maiden voyage. The luxurious ship departed on April 10th, carrying passengers from various classes to New York. 4 days later, it struck an iceberg and sank in the Atlantic, becoming one of the most well-known maritime disasters in history. Bobby Leach was the second person to survive a fall over Niagara Falls inside a barrel in 1911. Known for his risky stunts, he suffered serious injuries during the descent, but survived. A man climbs the torch of the Statue of Liberty. The structure, a symbol of freedom and hope, has undergone several renovations over the years. Public access to the torch was closed in the early 20th century due to safety concerns. Children working in coal mines in 1980. Child labor was common at the time, especially in heavy industries. The harsh conditions eventually led to changes in labor laws, gradually restricting this practice. A massive explosion at a chemical plant in Texas in 1947. The incident happened when a ship loaded with flammable material caught fire, triggering a chain reaction. It was one of the most significant industrial events of the time, leading to changes in chemical safety. Brace for impact. AV-1 flying bomb, moments before hitting London in 1945. During World War II, V-1 bombs were used by German forces as long-range weapons. The WWII, released in Germany in 1955, was one of the most iconic microcars of its time. Compact and fuel-efficient, it had a single front door and a one-cylinder engine, becoming popular among urban drivers looking for an affordable and practical alternative. The British Concorde fleet is at Heathrow Airport, United Kingdom, in 1986, celebrating 10 years of operation. Known for its supersonic speed, the model drastically reduced transatlantic travel time. A woman lives on Casa Grande Valley Farm in Pinal County, Arizona, in 1940. In the photo, she holds the lid of her electric washing machine, an item still uncommon in many rural areas at the time. A radiologist at work in England in 1934. Radiology was still in its early years as a medical specialty. The image shows the professional in action, using equipment that was considered state-of-the-art in medicine at the time. Robert Wadlow, the tallest man in history, standing at 8 feet 11 inches. Born in 1918, he suffered from gigantism due to excessive production of growth hormone. A Victorian lady walks through the streets in the 19th century, serving as a walking advertisement for merchants. Dressed in clothes decorated with goods, she promoted local shop products in a creative way. Google in the 1970s. Although Google was founded only in 1998, the 1970s were crucial for the development of the technology that would lead to the company's creation. D-Day veterans, both past and present, make the sign of the cross inside the same plane that took them to Normandy. In 1944, soldiers faced fear and uncertainty during the invasion. Decades later, many returned to revisit the place where they made history. A Pepsi delivery truck drives through in 1943 during World War II. During this time, beverage production faced difficulties due to sugar and other ingredient shortages. Even so, Pepsi kept expanding in the United States. A young woman watches as her tire is changed in Southeast Washington in 1942. During World War II, rubber and fuel rationing led many people to keep their vehicles in good condition for longer. Dad is home. Gunner Hector Morgan returns to his family after World War II in 1945. Like many soldiers, he spent years away, facing the challenges of war. A child says goodbye to their father before his departure for World War II. Thousands of soldiers left their homes to fight, while wives and children faced the uncertainty of the conflict. An American soldier with his baby kangaroo at an Allied forward base in 1942. During World War II, troops stationed in Australia often adopted local animals as mascots, bringing comfort amid the challenges of war. Airmail transportation in Germany in 1912 marked a breakthrough in communication. This pioneering service demonstrated aviation's potential for carrying light cargo, influencing the development of airmail worldwide. Two women pose on a crank-drive motorcycle from 1895 and a new Imperial twin, 500. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, the new Imperial was known for its reliable engineering and innovative design. Margaret Gibb receives a kiss from her fiancé, while her conjoined twin sister, Mary, watches around the 1940s. The Gibb sisters were born physically connected, sharing part of their bodies, but living independently whenever possible. The artist Salvador Dali in 1957. Known for his surrealist art, Dali also influenced fashion with his eccentric and innovative style. The telephone tower in Stockholm, Sweden, before switching networks were developed, with 500 lines, in 1890. In the early years of telephony, technology was still limited, and communication infrastructure was in development. The Asaro Mudmen from Papua New Guinea wear ceremonial clay masks in 1970. This tradition comes from stories of warriors who covered their bodies in mud to appear as spirits and scare enemies. The Convair model. 118. Convair car, a flying car from 1948, was an innovative attempt to combine an automobile and an aircraft. Equipped with removable wings and an airplane engine, it could be driven like a regular car after landing. Arthur Clarence Pillsbury on the hood of a Studebaker 6, just inches from the edge of Glacier Point in Yosemite National Park. In 1933, volcanologist Arpad Kerner and his assistant, both wearing protective suits, stand near the crater of Stromboli volcano in Italy, observing its volcanic activity. The chain bridge at Jiangyu Hill Temple, China in 1930. These suspension bridges were common in mountainous areas, connecting temples and remote villages. Built with iron chains and wooden planks, they required balance and courage to cross. A female firefighter from the Achille Serre Ladies Fire Brigade in London in 1925. The brigade was one of the first female firefighting teams in the United Kingdom, challenging gender norms of the time. Howard Hughes at the controls of his 200-ton seaplane, the Spruce Goose, in the 1940s. Designed for military transport, it made only one flight in 1947, becoming a legend in aviation. Workers assembled the first Volkswagen Beetles in Wolfsburg, Germany in 1938. Designed to be affordable and efficient, its production was halted during World War II. After the war, it became one of the most popular cars in the world due to its compact design and durability. Group photo of electricians in 1918. At the end of World War I, many workers, including electricians, played key roles in maintaining infrastructure and producing vital equipment for the war effort. Women compete for the ball in a recreational beach game during the 1930s. Wearing swimsuits of the time, the group enjoys a moment of leisure, reflecting the growing interest in outdoor activities and women's sports. Albert Einstein relaxes on a beach by the Baltic Sea in 1928. Between his intense scientific studies, the physicist sought moments of peace by the sea, appreciating nature as a source of rest and inspiration. Painting of the Eiffel Tower in 1932. Built for the Exposition Universelle of 1889, the tower became one of the most iconic symbols of Paris and French engineering. Niagara Falls in 1903. One of the most famous tourist destinations in North America, the site already attracted visitors, fascinated by its impressive waterfalls and the growing infrastructure built to welcome tourists. Photographers capture tests at Bikini Atoll in 1946. Part of Operation Crossroads, the event assessed impacts on ships and the environment, marking the beginning of experiments with new technologies in the Pacific. The photographer captured an aerial image of Fifth Avenue in New York, looking north in the year 1905. Fifth Avenue was already one of the most prestigious addresses, with luxurious mansions and upscale shops, establishing itself as a symbol of New York's elite. The Elephant Comet performs at the Trocadero in London in 1938. Known for its trained abilities, it entertained audiences at a time when animal performances were popular in urban centers. Oklahoma residents during the Dust Bowl migration in 1935. Extreme drought and dust storms forced thousands to leave their land in search of work, many heading to California. 3 Welsh miners walk out of the mine after a long day of work in Wales. Covered in coal dust, they represent the tough routine of mining, an industry essential to the British economy in the 20th century. The 1927 Bugatti Type 41 Royale Coupe. Napoleon was one of the most luxurious cars ever built. Designed by Ettore Bugatti, it featured a 12.7-liter engine, one of the largest ever placed in an automobile. Only 6 units were made. A businessman and his secretary work in a swimming pool during a heat wave in Berlin, Germany in 1926. During that hot summer, many people looked for ways to stay cool while still meeting their work responsibilities. Saturday, May 25, 1940. Inside a general store in Stem, Granville County, North Carolina, with young men dressed up for Election Day. At the time, the event was a significant occasion in small towns. Dustin Hoffman with his daughter Karina in 1969. The actor, who was already gaining recognition in film, enjoyed family moments while establishing his career in Hollywood. In the photograph, John D. Rockefeller is seen turning his back on a man begging for money in the 1880s. Despite his later donations, this scene highlights the contrast between extreme wealth and poverty at the time. A test track was built on top of the Fiat factory in Italy in the 1920s. Cars would drive up internal ramps to the rooftop circuit, allowing them to be tested right after production. A giant inflatable clown for Thanksgiving in the United States in Times Square in 1940. During this decade, Macy's Thanksgiving parades began gaining popularity, with giant balloons that became an annual symbol of the celebration. Elvis Presley with his Messerschmitt bubble car in 1956 in Memphis. Elvis was photographed next to this small and innovative vehicle, which became popular in the 1950s for its compact and efficient design. Vivian Leigh in a publicity portrait for Caesar and Cleopatra in 1945. Already an established actress in cinema, she portrayed Cleopatra in this major production based on George Bernard Shaw's play. Summer 1914. University of Pennsylvania rowing team in Poughkeepsie. The photo was captured by Bain News Service on a glass plate, one of the photographic methods of the time. Los Angeles in the 1940s in a photograph by Ansel Adams. Known for his detailed work in landscapes, Adams captured the city during its expansion, portraying its architecture and urban life of the time. This church in Detroit had not been cleaned since its construction 134 years ago. When the cleaning finally took place, the stone revealed a bright light color, restoring the building's original beauty, once hidden by pollution and time. Waitresses served visitors at Oktoberfest in Munich, Germany in 1928. The festival, known for its cultural and musical traditions, attracted large crowds to celebrate Bavarian heritage with traditional food and drinks. Painters suspended by cables work on the Brooklyn Bridge on October 7, 1914. The maintenance of the bridge, one of New York's most iconic landmarks, required hard work and courage. The Simca convertible special, Ghia, was showcased at the Paris Motor Show in October 1954, combining French engineering with Italian design. The car stood out for its elegance and style, reflecting the collaboration between Simca and the renowned Ghia design house. A tourist and his car at the edge of the Grand Canyon, Arizona, United States, in 1914. The rise of automobiles changed tourism, allowing more people to explore remote landscapes. Movie actress Fay Webb with her pet goose, which is wearing a striking pair of glasses, in 1925. At the time, exotic and unusual pets were becoming popular in celebrity photos. Niagara Falls, as seen from the Canadian side, in 1950. On the left, the Rainbow Bridge connects Canada to the United States, while in the background, the city of Buffalo is visible. The region was one of the most visited tourist destinations of the time. Argi Bam, a 1,500-year-old city in Iran, resembles a spiraling sandcastle. Located in the Kerman Desert, this ancient fortified city is one of the largest adobe structures in the world and was an important trade center on the Silk Road. A 700-year-old house in Iraq built into the rocks. This type of construction is part of ancient housing traditions where natural rock formations were used to create durable and efficient shelters. February 1939. Ice for sale in Harlingen, Texas. At the time, ice was an essential product, especially in hot regions like Texas, where it was used to preserve food and drinks. The Statue of Liberty was assembled in Bari for testing before being dismantled and sent to New York in 1885. Transported in pieces, it was reconstructed and inaugurated the following year as a symbol of freedom and friendship between France and the United States. November 1941. Mr. and Mrs. Lee Wagner, who work on the Black Canyon Project farm in Canyon County, Idaho. The project was a major irrigation and water control initiative, vital for the agricultural development of the region. September 1941, Hermiston, Oregon. When workers at Umatilla Ordnance Depot broke the world record by pouring concrete for 24 igloos in 24 hours, the contractor threw a beer party to celebrate. September 1941, Hermiston, Oregon. Worker housing at Umatilla Ordnance Depot with an unfinished interior structure. During World War II, the construction of military depots required temporary housing for workers. Steven Seagal in the early years of his career in the mid-1970s. Before becoming famous in movies, he dedicated himself to martial arts and even taught self-defense, building the foundation for his future in action films. Actress Barbara Boucher poses under the spotlight in 1960. Known for her elegance and striking presence, she stood out in films and television productions of the time. Couples enjoy water skiing at Cypress Gardens, Florida, in 1965. The park was famous for its water shows, attracting visitors with choreographed performances and stunts on the water. Alfred offers tea to a lion in 1957. The scene reflects a time when close interactions with big cats were common in zoos and performances, before changes in safety and animal welfare regulations. The Ponce de Leon Hotel in St. Augustine, Florida, in the early 1900s. Built in 1888, the luxurious Spanish Renaissance-style hotel was a popular destination for wealthy visitors and a landmark of the era's architecture. February 1942, Woodville, California. FSA, Agricultural Workers Community. During the Great Depression, the Farm Security Administration, FSA, documented the lives of rural workers, showing the harsh living conditions and daily efforts to support their families. Sammy Davis Jr., an American actor, dancer, and singer, uses the Jiffy Gym, an elastic chest expander, in 1968. He maintained excellent physical shape, and the Jiffy Gym was a popular home exercise device at the time. A police officer tests a riot protection suit in the 1950s. Designed for safety and crowd control operations, these suits evolved over the years, incorporating stronger and lighter materials.